Yo, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Trey back again, hit you with a video. Got some sad news. The rapper Young Mazi has been killed in Atlanta, basically shot outside of a pizza parlor, pizza place. Uh, and this happened Sunday night. I don't know why we didn't hear about it yesterday, but evidently this happened Sunday night. And the police are on the scene trying to really see what's going on. They saying that it was most likely he was targeted. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna read this little article and I'm gonna give my little opinion on it. It says Atlanta rapper Young Mazi was shot to death Sunday night after leaving a pizza restaurant in the Kirkwood community. Young Mazi is signed to Kevin Gates' label and has in the past worked with the Baton Rouge rapper. He also previously worked with local Atlanta rapper like Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan. Police found Mazi suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He was later pronounced dead. R.I.P. Jabril A. Young Mazi. I mean, hey, there you have it. That's another senseless violence, another senseless killing, another young brother dead in the grave. You feel me? All because of this image that most young black men try to portray and keep up. See, in order to understand why a lot of these guys get in the trouble they get in and why things happen in their lives the way it happened, it's because what they say, how they live. It's even more so in what you say, because I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of people don't know. See, your words have power. Your words are magic. If you know how to use them, you feel me? That's why you say. That's why you hear people say, especially religious people and spiritual people too, because they understand the concepts and the dynamics of it. But they understand that you can speak things into existence. Have you ever heard that? I know a lot of you are like, "Oh boy, preach right now." Yeah, I am. So if you have the power to speak life over you, and you also have the power to speak death also over you, which means if you keep talking about living good and you being successful, you own the business, the universe is going to open up a way for that to form in your life. You feel me? Some kind of strange ways, the cosmos, everything, all the obstacles, it get out your ways and you walk into your destiny because your words are magic. You feel me? There are keys. Every word you say is a key. And for you to speak life over your name, good things will happen in your life. Just like if you say, I will be successful, I'm going to make it. And you keep telling yourself that, pretty soon you start believing that. And when you start believing that, you start living that. You start acting that out. But at the same time, if you one of these type of male or females who says, I would never be successful, I would never make it, oh, I'm not shit. Guess what? If you tell yourself that long enough and enough times, you're going to automatically think that then you will operate in that manner. You feel me? Just like you will operate on a high frequency, you will operate on a low frequency. But as in this case, what we see with a lot of these rappers, the ones who don't know how to, get out the game and change away from the game. And this guy, I think Young Mazi was 31. So he wasn't no young man and he wasn't no old man. You feel me? He was right there at his prime. But at the same time, the guy been shot like on, I don't know how many, 20, 30 separate occasions. I mean, done had multiple bullet wounds, and he basically had more lives than them damn cats. Cat got 9 lives. He had 20 lives. But the moral of the story is bullets don't fear thug rap lyrics. You feel what I'm saying? A bullet do not care how big your gold chain is. A bullet do not care how big your ego and your swag is. A bullet do not care how big your penis is and what you think you can do. A bullet don't care how many women, I mean, you done slept with. A bullet do not care number one thing, and that's taking you out of here. So you need to remember that. Stop speaking death in your lyrics. Stop speaking death over your life. And these CEOs of these companies, they know that. That's why they get these young, impressionable guys who have no knowledge of self. Because not one rapper that has knowledge of self, unless he's just a complete jerk and a sellout, and he's only going to do it for so long because he understands the inconsequences of it. Because whatever you put out there in the universe is gonna come back to you. And when it come back to you, it's gonna come back to you tenfold. That's why they say you reap what you sow. You feel me? Because you might wrote a song that somebody heard and it's talking about drive-bys, killing people, revenge. And that same person, you might be in Atlanta. This person might be in New York. This person might be in Chicago. This person might be in LA, Seattle. And they hear that. And it might resonate with their spirit. And their spirit might not be right. You feel what I'm saying? Now walk with me while I talk to you. Their spirit might not be right. And what they would do, go out there and commit a heinous act, a criminal act, whether it's taking somebody's life, robbing somebody, raping somebody, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? At the worst, murder. Go murder somebody listening to your lyrics. You guess what? That person blood is on your hand also, because it's just like you putting a person in the car and you telling them what to do. You provide the vehicle for them to commit the crime, basically, through these raps. And these rappers need to know that. And the wise ones know that. That's why a lot of them don't rap no more. That's why a lot of them changed it up. And that's why a lot of them never rap like that. And the ones that never rap like that, notice them are the ones that's the most successful. The LL Cool J's. You feel what I'm saying? Even though people want to hear this grimy shit like killing each other. Tell me one thing. What's your favorite movie? Name three of them. Scarface, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society. That's what most of you I would say. Shotters, King of New York, stuff like that, huh? New Jack City, yeah. Now, what do all those movies have in common? Violence, killing. You feel what I'm saying? Especially everything outside of Scarface, because that was mostly like the Cubans and the Colombians and all that. Black on black crime. You feel what I'm saying? Because we've been taught to hate each other. We've been taught to not love our fellow brother and our sister. We've been taught to disrespect each other and at the same time make it comical. And for some reason, the low level, low frequency people love this. You know, I used to buy all that bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? I used to love NWA. I used to love the Too Shorts. I used to love the Young Jesus, the Rick Ross. You know, but for some reason, one day I was sitting back and I thought about it. I don't know who I heard. I don't know if it was the honorable minister Louis Farrakhan that said it. I'm trying to think who said it, but anyway, what they basically said is, why do we embrace death in our culture? And that got to me one day, because I'm looking around like, damn, you know what? He got a point there. Because you look in your playlist right now. Look on your movie shelf. Violence, vulgarity. You see what I'm saying? And it's nothing that's gonna elevate our mind or elevate our way of thinking. You feel what I'm saying? And we wonder why our brothers and sisters get gunned down the way they do. We wonder why so many of them have death written on them, and they don't even know it. People that's around you know it. If they, spiritual, and they can see it, because you can see it before it happened. I know I can, you know. But at the same time, when I heard, I think it was Minister Louis Farrakhan, when I heard him say that, man, it did something to me, because I was just stuck in that chair. I'm like, wow. And I must have meditated on that for like 3 hours. It blew my mind. It was like a door opened up in my brain. And, 'cause I already had that little feeling. But at the same time, everything ain't for everyone. Everybody ain't meant to walk the same walk. Some people are here to be examples to others. You see what I'm saying? Whereas you have people that go out there and rob banks and get their head blown off. That's an example to you not to do that. You see what I'm saying? Where you have people out here living in any kind of way, living this so-called thug life, living this ghetto life, and they wind up dead at a young age. That's an example for everybody else. Don't follow them footsteps. Do better. You see what I'm saying? So I understand there's different kinds of people here, and people here are here to play different kind of roles in life. I think my role, and I know my role, is to just to motivate and share and just share my pain with people. Listen to their pain, because we all done been through a lot, some more than the others. To teach and at the same time learn. Because you're never too old and you're never too wise to learn something new. We can learn stuff from a baby. We can learn stuff from an animal. You feel what I'm saying? That's what the Indians used to do, and our ancestors. That's why we have the zodiac signs and all this with the so-called Scorpios and stuff, the Cancers. But anyway, that's a different story. But what I'm trying to say is this right here: instead of preaching death in your rap music, because I know people got to get they so-called quote-unquote money. I know you got to grind, you got to shine, but at the same time, break out of that low-level way of thinking, because that way of thinking is nothing but death in the end. Look at Chink's Drugs, murdered out there at 4 o'clock in the morning, and people talking about that was a hit, which was a paid hit. There's no way 3 bullet holes can be lined up just like this, perfect. You know what I'm saying? That was a professional hit, and I'm guaranteed pretty much the same was with Young Mazi. And then instead of him getting shot a few times, because some guys don't know when to quit. I had friends like that don't know when to quit. Thank God I quit. Thank God I never been shot, been stabbed twice. But that was young. That was when I was young. But thank God I never been shot, because they said it burns like hell. But the Most High was honestly, and I know a lot of you all don't believe in the Lord or whatever. That's on you. You're entitled to that. You could be an atheist. You could be whatever you want to believe. But before you leave this earth, you will believe in something, if not yourself. Now, when he got shot all other times, that was the Most High sparing his life each and every time. And instead of him turning back from his wicked ways and going forward, this guy decided to go in deeper. And that's because you only gonna get spared so many times. I don't give a damn what you do in life. Whether you in a speeding car, you driving to work fast, and you ain't even a rapper, you ain't a part of that. You got a suit on or a dress on, headed to work, looking good with your cologne and perfume on. Guess what? If you speed down that highway enough time, guess what? You gonna end up either getting chased down by the police, or you gonna end up getting killed, or you gonna kill somebody. You gonna call a whole massive pile up on the interstate. You never know, because when it's your time, it's your time. You feel me? But if you have been receiving warnings to look, slow down. Just like if you might have been speeding a couple of times, police right there, you're like, oh, I know I'm speeding, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that did that. A lot of you all did also. Oh, they didn't even pull me over. You just got lucky that time. But who's to say the next time, what I'm saying, he won't pull you over, think you got something, bam, 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 there you go. It can happen. It can happen. Because trust me, if little kids getting shot, you can too. But, warning comes before destruction. And if you have a life worth living, go live your life, man. This glorification of killing each other, this thug culture, that is the most retarded, stupidest shit in the world. You feel what I'm saying? And we wonder why we don't get no respect, because we don't love or respect ourselves. But then we get mad when somebody shine a light, a mirror in our face, and show us the error of our ways. Because I guarantee you, if I wouldn't have had that light or that mirror shined in my face, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. You feel what I'm saying? I'd probably be somewhere, doing other things, or somewhere stinking. I ain't talking about not bathing. I'm talking about dead, pushing up daisies. You feel me? Because this world is only gonna give you so many opportunities. But anyway, let me know what you all think in the comment section. I ain't mean to preach to you all, but I just wanted to share some deeper understanding. Even though that's just a base level, I just wanted to share that with you all. Love your life, because you only got one. You only live once. YOLO. You like, subscribe. I'm out.